Lesson 53, Pivot Formatting. Well, in this lesson, we'll take a look at the different layout options and subtotal options available within a pivot table. Take a look at the brand new built-in formats, which are amazing, and the old trick for doing manual formatting, as well as how to format a number. All right, well, we're going to create a quick pivot table, so we'll use Insert Pivot Table. Click OK, and I want to have region going across the top, product and customer down the side, revenue in the heart of the pivot table. All right, well, at this point, I'm done with the pivot table field list, and I really want to get it out of the way. And I want to show you a few tricks with the pivot table field list. First of all, it's always docked over here on the right-hand side, and if I would take it and yank it off the right-hand side, I can make it float. All right, now, I have to tell you, the first time that I floated the field list, I could not get it to dock again. I mean, crash it into the right, it doesn't dock. I couldn't figure out, I thought I was in trouble. There was no way to ever get it back. It turns out to make it dock, you have to remove it far, far off the right-hand side. More than halfway off the right-hand side. But in this particular case, what I'm going to do is just move it partway off the right-hand side, so that way I can continue to see my table, and I can see all of the table without the field list getting in the way. You could actually hide it as well. I mean, I guess that's just as easy. Just make it go away. But when I make it go away, I forget about it. So I'm just going to leave it there off the right-hand side. Okay, let's leave the Pivot Table Tools Options dialog and go out to the Design dialog, because most of the formatting options are out here. First thing we have to talk about is when we have a pivot table with two different items in the row labels area. By default, Excel is putting these both in column A. This is a brand new feature in Excel 2007, and if you really want product in A and customer in B, we can control that. We can come to Report Layout, and instead of Compact Form, choose Outline Form, and that gets us back to the old-fashioned way. Especially if you're taking this data to be used elsewhere, we don't want two different pieces of information in column A. We want them in separate columns. The other option is the tabular form. Tabular form and outline form are similar. Tabular form always has the totals at the bottom. Outline form has the option of showing totals at the top, or using the subtotals drop-down to show them at the bottom of the group. We also have the ability now to add a blank row after each item. So here between A, B, C, and D, E, F, we'll create a blank row. Your call whether or not you want that. At this point, I'm going to remove that. And of course, we have the option, as we've seen in previous lessons, to turn certain grand totals off for rows and columns. And so those are four layout options that we have. But the really interesting options, in my opinion, are the brand new Pivot Table Styles gallery. In the old version of Excel, we had about 18 different pivot table formats, and they were all horrible. I don't know anyone who ever liked to use those. But now we have many different layouts, and so let me just choose a layout here. And once I've chosen a layout from the Pivot Table Styles gallery, I can modify the layout. I can turn on banded rows and banded columns if I'd like to. Control whether or not the row headers have a different shading, and control whether or not column headers have a different shading. So really, by using these checkboxes, we have a total of 16 different options. Basically, you have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 that will modify these 48 built-in styles. And when you consider that you can use the page layout to choose from any of 20 different themes, you very quickly get to an astounding number of layouts that are available within just a few clicks by using the gallery, the options, and the themes drop-down. And I'll also point out that you can create your own pivot table styles. This is the same as we discussed back in lesson 14 when we were talking about table styles, and so I'll refer you back to that lesson if you'd like to learn how to create your own pivot table styles. Now for right now, I'm going to remove all of the formatting, turn off banded rows and columns, and point out some interesting formatting that is available from long, long ago. If we would like to format all of the product totals, you'll notice that right now my mouse pointer is a white cross. But if I hover above ABC total and move towards the left edge, it changes to a black arrow. This selects all of the product level totals, and then I can go to the Home tab and create my own style for just those totals. You'll see as I scroll down now that I've effectively created my own formatting for the customer level totals. It's also possible to, for example, get all of the settings for one particular customer and change the formatting for that customer, and it's changed throughout the data set. So instead of using a whole bunch of different built-in formats, if you needed to format just one particular customer, watch for the black arrow to appear, and that basically selects everything at the certain level. Here we would be able to select all of the region totals, which in this case there's only one. But watch for the black arrow, either vertical or horizontal, as you get near the edge of a selection, and you'll select all of the similar items at the same level. Well, the last issue here under formatting is how to format the numbers within the pivot table. If you would use anything in the number group on the Home tab and then pivot the table, everything reverts back to the original format. So the best thing to do is to go to the field settings. So we choose one of the number fields. On the Pivot Table Tools Options dialog, go to Active Field, and then Field Settings, and then use this number format button. If we say that this is currency with 0 decimal places, Excel will now remember that setting, and no matter how we pivot the table, it will always show us currency. It becomes a rule that's set up with the table. In Excel 2007, they've offered us many more formatting options than we ever had in the past. The Pivot Table Styles Gallery is really fantastic and offers thousands of different options by the time you combine it with the Pivot Table Styles options and the themes on the Page Layout tab. I hope you found that helpful, and thanks for watching.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than live lessons. Self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.